UCLA basketball, they didn't just win the women's national championship, they led for all 40 minutes. I'm breaking down the mindset behind the way this happened and how you can train it for your athletes, your team, and yourself.
Hello, and thank you for joining the Champion Within podcast, your premier go-to spot for unlocking your winning mindset. Whether you're an athlete looking to elevate your game to the next level, a coach leading the charge, an enthusiastic parent cheering from the sidelines, or an educator molding young minds, the Champion Within podcast episodes are packed with value, sharing the tools and strategies to unlock your potential and rise to new heights. Hosted by mentor, coach, and mindset leader Kate McCauley. Let's sit back and enjoy today's episode while discovering your champion within. And now, here's Kate.
Let's talk about the women's national championship game, UCLA versus South Carolina. Before I get into the game itself, I want to acknowledge both of these amazing coaches. I'm obsessed with her Instagram, by the way. I just need to start there. Car Rides with Corey. I am here for it. If you have not tuned into those, you need to get on Instagram right now. Search it up. Just start going through her feed. Listen to all those Car Rides with Corey. You are going to be hooked. If you love this podcast, you're going to love what she has to say while she's driving. Dawn Staley. Where do I want to start with Dawn Staley? She's from Philly. Enough said, really. If you've been listening for a long time, you know that my heart is here in the Philadelphia area. All that stuff with Gino. She was fired up at the end, and rightfully so. He was so out of line. I don't even want to get into all of that because I really, truly believe that the focus should be on the athletes and their hard work to get to the Final Four, to get to the championship game. I really want to focus there, but I just got to say that her Philly was shining bright, and I'm here for it. But both of these coaches, Corey and Dawn, embody what a female athlete, a woman in sports should be. Not only as basketball coaches, but beyond the court. The work they do in the community, their belief system, being women of integrity, being women that pour into the female athletes that they coach. The fact that they both are growth mindset oriented, I am here for it. Let's talk about the game. This wasn't a back and forth game, and both of these teams are talented, but this was control from the first whistle to the last. No emotional swings, no panic, no drop in any standards. That level of consistency, that's trained. That did not just happen when March rolled onto the calendar and they flipped the page from February to March. That started in the summer when they were doing workouts or when they were getting ready for this season. If you coach, play, or you are raising an athlete, you need to lean in right here. Dominance like that from the UCLA team, it doesn't come from hype. It 100% absolutely comes from the pressure at the identity level. The first lesson is identity is going to set the ceiling here. Under Corey Close, this team is not asking, are we playing well? They are saying, are we being who we said we would be? I am obsessed with these I will statements that was a part of the training all along. And when we ask that question, are we being who we said we will be? Are we being calm, connected, locked in? Performance is going to follow your identity. Before you're going in to compete, doesn't matter what your sport is, you need to be asking, who are we when it gets hard? I think I heard her say that they write out about 5 to 7 I will statements. But the night before the championship game, they circled up and they shared out loud their I will statements. You need to have your team answer out loud. That's the standard that they play to. When they circled up and they said, I will sprint back, after we score. I will get those rebounds. I will, whatever the statement is, or if the question is, who are we when it gets hard? I am, I will. The statements that you are saying, when you say it out loud, you're hearing yourself say it. That makes it more powerful. Your teammates are hearing you say it. That makes it more powerful. When you are in that circle together, you are connected there. This is the standard that they will show up and play to. The second lesson, resetting after something happens, it's a skill. You need to know that a reset is a skill, not a personality trait. Most athletes, they are emotionally reacting. One mistake and everything drops. Their body language, effort, confidence. UCLA doesn't give mistakes that kind of power. They reset fast. You could watch it when it happens. Watch any clip from them and you will see it. You can train this directly. I want you to build a 3-step reset. A breath, a cue word, something like next or lock in, should be short and sweet, and a physical action. A clap, a point, eye contact. You need to rehearse this in practice. You need to rehearse this when they're tired, not once, but over and over. I mean, you're not suggesting this in the huddle before the big game. This is over and over. It is something you practice. So in the game, it's automatic. Lesson number 3, mistakes don't mean anything unless you give them meaning. Someone who has an average mindset or doesn't really work on their mindset at all, they're thinking or maybe saying out loud, I messed up. Now I'm off. My shot's off. An elite mindset, a trained mindset is saying things like adjust. That's it. No story, no spiral. That's why UCLA stays steady for 40 minutes. I need to jump in here. Coach, quick question. Do your athletes look amazing at practice, but when the game gets tight or you have a big competition, they panic, lose focus, fall apart, start talking negatively before they even compete, missed plays, bad body language, heads down? You know they have the talent, but pressure is winning. That's not a talent problem. That's a mental side of the sport problem. I run a team program called The Champion Within, where I train athletes using my CHAMP framework: confidence, habits, attitude, mental imagery, and purpose. I literally retrain their brains so they know how to stay calm, get focused, and compete like the champions they are. When the moments get big, they need to know how to regulate their nervous system. It needs to be automatic. The teams that win consistently, they train their minds, not just their bodies. Just go down to the show notes, click on the link, or send me a DM on Instagram with the word team, and I'll get you everything you need. Okay, let's get back to the podcast. When we think about coaching here, any mistake, practice, or during a game, you can ask one question: what's the adjustment? Keep athletes out of that emotional spiral and in action. Let me say that again. It's one question. What's the adjustment? And just wait. Let them answer it. If you're listening right now and thinking, this is exactly what I need my athletes to do, this is what they need, this is the work I do in the Champion Within programs. I help athletes, teams, and coaches show up confidently, they're composed, and they're consistent under pressure. If you want athletes that don't unravel after one mistake, ones who lead, communicate, and compete differently, let's work together. Send me a message. I will drop everything in the show notes below, or if you're on Instagram, send me a DM and we'll get things set up. Lesson number 4 is all about your words. The words you say as a coach, as a parent, as an athlete yourself are going to make a big difference. And it doesn't matter if you're saying them out loud or if you're the athlete just thinking it in your brain. I will statements, saying I will, followed by what you are going to do, these statements create control. I always say to my teams, we don't hope, we compete. Hope is not a strategy. I will is a strategy. I hope I stay confident? No. Instead, you are going to say things like, I will communicate every possession. I will sprint back on defense. I will reset immediately. Now the focus is clear. Now the mind has specific directions. I want you to do this. Right now, this is the time maybe you're going to write something down here that you're going to do with your athletes. Have your athletes write 2 to 3 I will statements before every game. The practice before the game, I want you to have them literally writing it down. There's brain research that shows when you write it, it's going to impact them even more. And then when we're saying it out loud, it impacts more. So steal that. We don't need to deep dive into the research right now, but I'm telling you that hand, pen, paper, it's making a difference. These are non-negotiables, things that they can control. They cannot control how people act in the bleachers. They cannot control the other team. They can't control their teammates. They can't control the refs. These are things they can control for the I will statements. That's how they're going to lock in and stay consistent. I want you to call it out. Most athletes are losing control mentally long before the game is decided. One bad play, it turns into 5 because there's no system for the response. UCLA had a system. That's why there's no swings in that mindset. The mental part of the game is a part of the training. This isn't just about basketball either. Of course, it is about basketball, but this is about life. A bad meeting, a missed opportunity, a hard conversation, the same pattern shows up. Do you react or do you respond with intention? If you are a high performer, you're not going to wait to feel ready. They decide how they show up and then they follow it. You want to be a high performer if you're going to be successful in any area. Of course, basketball that we're talking about, or whatever sport it is that you coach, you play, or you cheer if you are the parent, but also that ripple effect into all areas of their life, school, work, their relationships. Again and again, you want the brain to just have this be automatic. UCLA women's basketball team didn't just win a game. They showed us what it looks like to stay in control, start to finish. That's mindset. That's leadership. That's trained behavior under pressure. And it's actually available to anyone who is willing to practice it. So it's your move now. What's one I will statement that you're planning to lock into today? I want you to make it simple, make it clear, and then go live it. That's how you're going to separate yourself in your sport and your life. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'm rooting for you always.
Thank you for hanging out with Kate today. And whether you're going to coach, teach, cheer from the sidelines, or hitting the field yourself, remember, mindset is everything. Don't forget to follow the show for the latest episodes, as we all need a little extra motivation, humor, and sanity in our busy lives. Now, go and unleash your champion within you, one step at a time. We're always rooting for you.